Playing arpeggios is an essential part of guitar playing styles all around the world, including jazz, flamenco, classical music, rock, metal, folk, you name it. But each style has a different approach to playing arpeggios. And today, we're going to be looking at the flamenco tradition, a very technical and virtuosic guitar playing tradition. And we're going to be looking at their rather unique approach to playing arpeggios. And let's get started. Welcome to Ethnomusicology for the World, my lesson series where I strive to help the world better appreciate and understand its musical cultures. So let's delve right into our musical concept for today, arpeggios. Now, what are arpeggios? Arpeggios is basically an Italian word which refers to playing the individual notes of a chord in succession. So as opposed to, say, strumming all the notes at one go, you just play them one after the other. And you have arpeggiated the chord. Now in flamenco guitar, there's a particular right hand position that is used to play arpeggios. And mind you, I didn't start learning flamenco. In fact, for the most part of my guitar life, more than 10 years, I didn't study flamenco. So when I got introduced to this technique, obviously it was a challenge for me to adapt my right hand position. But after doing so, I realized the immense benefits that I was reaping because of applying this position. Now, we're gonna go straight into it, but I'm gonna explain it to you through a musical example. Now, to illustrate the flamenco arpeggio position, we're going to be in the flamenco style called Guajiras, which basically is in the key of A major and it alternates between an A and an E7 chord. Okay, so A major to an E7 chord. So I have a full video of an excerpt from a Guajiras, but today we're just going to be exploring the main rhythmic component of Guajiras, and this is how it goes. I want you to pay special attention to my right hand. Now if you noticed, my right hand, my wrist was very bent at an angle here. Now previously, a lot of fingerstyle guitarists play like this, where the hand is all straight in a line, but flamenco guitarists, they turn their hand this way such that your fingers are almost perpendicular to the strings, and naturally in doing so, your thumb will move forward up towards the neck. And this is beneficial in the sense that it avoids collision between your thumb and your index finger. Whereas if you were playing like this, like my thumb immediately hit the index finger, and that's gonna reduce your speed and your clarity of tone. And also, as your fingers are at a perpendicular right angle to the string, at least more so than if it were like this, right? If you look at it, they're almost pointing downwards to the floor right now. The tone that you get when you're plucking the strings is better, and I have a lot more control in playing these individual notes. Now, a helpful tip is to relax your right arm. Now, that's easier said than done, of course, but I find that what helps the most is to not create unnecessary space between your arm and the guitar. Alright, so if you're raising up your hand like this, this is a lot of tension in your hand. Now, if you just rest your entire weight on the guitar, if you're able to do that, that's really, really good. It eliminates a lot of tension in your arm. So initially when I tried learning this position and applying it, it felt really awkward because my hand seemed to be bent in what seemed like an unnatural position. My advice is to just experiment and try and find what works for you, and I hope that you can reap the benefits that I have reaped as well. So what are the benefits, you might be asking? Well, one is that I have increased volume as well as control over the volume, so better dynamic control. Another is a better tone in my playing, and also I have a more consistent way of playing arpeggios so that each time I play it, I have a dedicated position and it sounds more or less the same, and I get to practice this same technique over and over again. So to get us started, to play in this arpeggio position, I've put together a simple exercise taking the harmonies from the Guajiras style. We're just going to be changing from an A major chord to an E7 chord, and I've got the tab and the notes all prepared for you. Just go to my website and download it and check out the full lesson. The links are all in the description below. I've printed out a copy here so that you can take a look in the video itself. So if you look at this, we're in 12/8 rhythm. We're just going to be arpeggiating each chord, alright? And we're going to be playing the bass notes with our thumb and the rest of the notes with our 3 fingers, the index, the middle, and the ring finger. Okay, so just some tips that are going to help you out. Number 1, play rest strokes with your thumb. After you play a string, rest on the next string. This will give you more control at the beginning. Number 2, maintain this bent wrist position at all times. Of course, it doesn't mean you force it there and you strain it there, but initially you may have to be a lot more conscious to keep it in that position. Number 3, make sure that your index finger is always behind your thumb so that they never collide with each other. And number 4 is, of course, use a metronome to practice this exercise. So I'm gonna play it through a few times and just play along with me as best as you can. Let's go. One more time. And we end on an A major. Well, I hope you enjoy learning and practicing this approach to playing arpeggios. Now, of course, there are different styles and different approaches to playing all varieties of techniques on the guitar, and we have to be discerning to pick and choose which ones we want to adapt to our own playing. And it depends on the style of music you play and the sound you want to achieve. Personally, I'm really comfortable adapting this flamenco approach to playing arpeggios to my own playing because flamenco is such a virtuosic and technical style, and there's so many amazing flamenco guitarists who can achieve such brilliant technical feats on the guitar using this particular technique. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Just leave a comment below and I will reply to it. Alright, so until next time, I'll see you again. Goodbye.